The model takes care of a lot when it comes to basic operations of our CakePHP website. Until now, we have not had to add anything to our models, and yet they have performed all of the functions that we have needed. We have two models in our application. Currently, they are independent of each other, but we need them to be dependent. In this case, the item model relies on the category model. This is considered a one-to-many. There is one category to many items. In CakePHP, there are 4 association types: one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. Now I can guess that your thoughts are that the many-to-one is a little bit out of place. We will be covering the many-to-one in this segment. We will also be covering the one-to-one and one-to-many association types. For this introduction to CakePHP, we will not be covering the many-to-many association type. For the one-to-one association, we will use the variable name has1. We will set the value of our variable to the model that we are going to reference. So for example, if we were in a cake model, we would type public has1 and then equal to the model that we are referencing. And in this case, we want to reference the cake detail model. For more clarification, the current model that we're in would be considered the parent model, and the parent will use this variable. So we have two models, cake and cake detail. The main model, cake, will indicate that it has the association with the other model, in this case, cake detail. In a simple sentence, we can say cake can have one cake detail. Our second association type is a one-to-many association. The variable name that we will use is the has-many, and the value that this variable will be set to is the model we are referencing. This is the exact same as the one-to-one association. So for example, if we were in a main model of user, we would use public has-many and then equal to recipe. For more clarification, we are in the parent model, and the parent model will use this variable. So if we have two model names, user and recipe, the main model or parent model would be user, and this will indicate that it has the association with the other model, in this case recipe. So for a simple sentence, we would say user can have many recipes. Now for the many-to-one association. This is not a typical association found in relational databases. This is basically a way for CakePHP to have a complement setting to the has-one and has-many associations. It's kind of like seeing the data from another direction. The variable name that we will use is belongs to, and we will set the value to be the model that is referencing the current model we're in. So for example, we have a main model of cake, and we are currently in the cake detail model. We would type in public belongs to and then equal to the cake model. So for more clarification, the child will use this variable. So if we have two models, cake and cake detail, the child model, in this case is cake detail, will indicate that it has the association with the parent model, which is cake. If we were to use this in a simple sentence, we would say cake detail belongs to cake. Each of these variables can be extended to have an associated array. Now each key value pair in the association has the ability to have more control over the association between the two tables. This is helpful when the database that you've inherited does not follow the CakePHP naming conventions. I'm going to show you a few examples of these type of association arrays that can be set. So here we're in the cake model, and we have the has-one association. You'll see that it's set to an associated array, and in there is a nested associated array. The first array key is set to the model that we are referencing. So in this case, cake detail. And that key has a value which is an associated array, which holds, in this case, two key value pairs. Here's an example of a has-many extended array. You'll note the first associated array has a key of recipe, recipe being the model that user is referencing to. And the associated array of recipe has a key value pair for more information in regards to this association type. And our last example is a belongs to. Again, this is in the quote child model, and it is referencing its parent model. So in this case, it's saying it belongs to, and the key of the array is set to cake, which is the model or parent model that is referencing the cake detail model. And that is set to an associated array with a key value pair. Let's go over some of the keys that can be in those associative array. So for the has1 variable, we can have class name, which would be the name of the model it's associated to, and we can set the foreign key. So this is the foreign key found in the other model. So again, if we have a parent-child, the foreign key would be in the child model. Other possibilities for keys are conditions, fields, order, and dependent. You can find more information about each of these key possibilities at the following link. For the has-many association, some possible keys are class name. Again, this is the name of the model that you're associating to. It can also have foreign key, and this is the foreign key found in the other model. Again, if I were in a parent model, my child would have the foreign key. Some other possibilities for keys are conditions, order, dependent, exclusive, offset, limit, and finder query. More information about these other key possibilities can be found at the following link. For the belongs to association array, the possible keys can be class name. Again, this is the name of the model it's associated with, and the foreign key. Now this is the foreign key in the current model, whereas before in the has1 and has-many, we were referencing the foreign key in the other model. This foreign key is the foreign key in the current model. The next possible key is type. The type indicates what kind of a join the SQL query will use. This defaults to left join. If you were to indicate a different type of a join, you will set the type equal to that particular join, but it must be in lowercase. Another key is order. The value that order is set to is the standard associated array that is used in the find query call. We used the order key in the find query call earlier in this course. Some other possibilities for keys are conditions, fields, counter cache, and counter scope. You can find more information about these particular keys at the following link. Just because we have a database that doesn't follow CakePHP standards doesn't mean that we won't be able to actually use CakePHP. The developers of CakePHP have made it easy to override those default values. This is a great help when we're trying to make associations between two tables. Even though our web application follows the CakePHP standards, we still need to set up our association type. Let's go ahead and set up those associations.